Not Quite
Darkness
is a podcast that contains spoilers, opinions, and general. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, children of probably mature ages, welcome back again to Not Quite Darkness. My name is Keith Brooks, and here with me, as always, is Mr. Chad Dowdy. Chad, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to rock and roll today, Keith.
Yeah, do you have the time to listen to me whine or whatever the song lyrics are for Basket Case? Because that's the fucking movie we're talking about today. What a basket case of a movie this is. If you're unaware, thank you for stumbling upon the podcast. Here's what we do. We are following In Search of Darkness and watching every fucking horror movie from the 80s. Every single one. If your cousin shot a movie on a disposable camera, we've probably seen it by this point if it was made before 1982. And this is our first 1982 film, is that right?
Yes, I think it is.
I think it is too. So we're watching Basket Case, and Chad, take it away.
I don't know if the version you saw has this.
Yes, the
It's
MOMA
art.
shit.
Yeah, this is art, Keith.
I was so upset when that started. If you're unfamiliar, because I watched it on Shudder, I don't remember this being on it when I was a kid. But again, I don't think I would have paid attention to this when I was a kid. But it starts with, "This is the greatest fucking work of art ever created. MoMA has preserved it." And so like at first I was like, maybe this is better than I thought it was. Maybe this is better than my memory of it. No, it's not. No. I think what happened was it became very public that Hitlered when he didn't get into art school. And they saw the potential in this director, and they're like, "Ugh, let's make sure he knows we like him." You know what I mean?
That's the only thing that makes sense, quite frankly.
The only thing, because Jesus fucking Christ, what follows would not make you think there should be a preface from MoMA. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular, Keith. I don't know what you're talking about, but so like Keith said, it's Basket Case. We start out with this weird looking dude. He's scared. You don't know what's going on. He's like trying to call the cops, but the line gets cut. Then his power gets cut, and then you see it like a grotesque hand, like reach up and just, I don't know if he rips his face off or what, but he kills him. You know, clearly.
Mhm.
You know, and then we cut to New York, circa 1971. Like I don't know, like
Something dirty. Yes,
it is so nasty. This had all of the makings of a porno. Like
absolutely, even the acting quality. Like I think they put the casting directions out on the back of a heroin needle. So, like it's rough.
yes, and again, like how like Batman movies, they say Gotham City's a character, in the film or whatever.
Yeah.
Like New York's a character in this film, and it's a disgusting, character. That's for sure. I felt dirty just watching it.
And I feel like New York from 1969 to 1987 looks the same. I can't tell the difference in any of those time periods. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
that's what I said.
lived
Is
in
this
New York.
1971?
Yeah, I lived in New York, and I can't tell the difference.
So now we're in New York, like I said, the main character, he's walking around, he's carrying a giant like basket, like a huge basket. Like it is so cumbersome how big this basket is.
Yeah. Yogi
he's
Bear
walking right
would
there.
see this basket and have a boner. Like that's how big this- Hey, boo-boo.
So he goes into like, random like Roach Motel, and basically this Dennis Franz looking guy sells him like a room.
Yep.
and he's got like a wad of cash, like, just flashing it in front of, terrible idea.
Terrible idea, but also the weirdest assortment. It feels like they were trying to do the barbershop scene from Coming to America with these three old men just having like philosophical conversations, but none of them are good. Like, it's rough.
And I really like the extras in this movie at the hotel because they just show up and just in the background, and they like everyone is a character. They
Like
don't speak.
they don't speak, or even the ones that do, they speak poorly, and it
Yes.
gives you such a character of what this film is. Like this film is such a like this film walked so trauma could run. You know what I mean?
Right. And so, when Dennis Friend rents in the room, he basically like says, is there anyone else with you? And so, the main character's like, no, it's just me. I'm all alone. It's only me and no one else. So, would you believe him? Because
Like,
like, this is not bad acting in the sense that like he was bad acting before, and now it's
it's
like,
it is bad acting. It's from the Rob Brago School of Acting is what this is. But
I just mean like this, him saying that is not like what
worse.
it's worse than what he was doing. He's,
Yeah.
he's doing something different with this answer,
Yeah.
and it's totally unbelievable.
I wouldn't let him. Well, no, here's the deal. I would let him in because of that. Because I think I understand that this hotel, you have to be weird to get in. So if he would have been like, "Oh, I have my mutated conjoined twin actually in the basket," I'd be like, "I'm sorry, that was too normal. The way you said that, you have to leave." But as long as you're weird about it, yeah, you could stay.
Then, so he gets the room and he goes in and he immediately like says into the basket, he's like, "We're here." So it's awesome. And then he feeds the basket, like he just opens the basket up and he's throwing hamburgers.
Well, he goes to get the hamburgers and
Yeah,
then comes back,
right.
and he has a sack full of hamburgers.
A sack
A
full of
s- I,
it's like
and
a ton.
like Jeez, like I guess the economy is really affecting me right now because I'm like, that's how does he have money left if he got that many hamburgers? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he takes the hamburgers and he threw them in there. And I'm not kidding, Keith. The grossest part of this movie is that he wipes his hands off on the dirty ass bread spread. It
Yeah,
is disgusting.
yeah.
Made me sick to my stomach just watching that.
There's a
Not
couple of spots in this
Yeah,
movie.
not the mutated, brother eating the hamburgers. It's
Yeah,
just him wiping his hands on this. It's got to be disease ridden
yeah,
bedspread.
easily. But also at this point, it could still be like a cute movie if you didn't know what it was because the basket you haven't seen anything in the basket, and it kind of moves like Gizmo, like like it's that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
And so now he's looking at some like bloody medical files. And what you realize is, I can't remember if at the beginning you realized that guy that got killed was a doctor, but that's the doctor's medical files
Yeah.
from the beginning. And these bloody medical files are out all the time,
All the
covered in
time.
blood, no matter who visits,
And
police,
there's a lot
random
of people visiting this place
Yes,
too.
exactly. Just the bloody files are always there. I mean, it's insane. And then he's talking to the basket more, but he's actually having a conversation with the basket, but we only hear what the main character's saying.
Yeah.
We don't hear whatever's inside the basket. We don't hear the other side of the conversation. Um, but then later, like a hooker tells him that someone was snooping around his room.
It's one of the guys that was there when he was throwing all the cash around has been looking through his keyhole, and the sex worker is a horrible actress, but there's something very entertaining about her. Like there's something so genuine about non-actors in roles sometimes, and they're like again. I don't mean to harp on these people by any means because they add the vast majority of the character to this film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Uh, so he leaves. He's not worried about the guy snooping. He goes to see another doctor, and it's like this doctor's like pervert city. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's crazy how this doctor is acting. He's the one that would be the director of the porn, like for sure.
Yeah. He has the hair for it. He has the slicked back hair, the glasses, all of it. Yeah.
And so when he goes to see the doctor, he also sees a receptionist. And how about that wig on that receptionist?
Woof. Boy, that's I don't want people to know I'm in this movie.
Like I'm terrible, like noticing like things like wigs or hair pieces in movies or whatever. But this you couldn't. Like it might as well have been a sign on her head that
Yeah.
says, "I'm wearing a giant wig." It was insane. And so when he's talking to the receptionist, again, weirdest possible answer. Like she's asking for his name, and he's like, "Oh no, I want to." He like gives her a fake name, but it's clearly like the way he's acting is just the weirdest thing possible.
Yeah.
And so he actually goes in to see the doctor, and he takes off his shirt, and we see like the his whole side has this huge scar. And I don't know about the special effects, whatever you want to call it, the makeup. Like, what do you
It's
think that was, Keith? Like, really?
I think it looks so there. Okay, there is this style of doing make it yourself makeup where you take like toilet paper and you moisten it and paint it. I think that's exactly what they did, or like paper mache or
It
something
was
like
like
that.
paper mache. That's what
Yeah,
you think.
yeah,
Yeah. Because it was wild. I was like,
it's wild.
I don't know what this is. Like,
It's
I,
jarring when you first see it too, and it like makes sense to a degree until later when you see, spoiler alert, where Belial is, and Belial's like this big, and yet the fucking scar looks like he was zipped in half. You know what I mean?
yes. And it's weird because it shows the scar and then it just cuts.
Yeah.
It's like we don't see like the doctor say anything. We don't see anything else. It's like they're really keeping this a secret of what's going on, you know.
But then also like the thing that bothers me, and just to skip ahead a little bit, the doctor is talking to Dollar Store Sigourney Weaver, and he's like, I'm almost positive it was him. You should be absolutely fucking positive it was him. He was missing half of his body on one side. Like, anyway.
It was like it couldn't have been him as a different name.
Yeah.
Like it was wild. So as he's leaving, he actually sets up a date with the wig receptionist.
But he has to put his giant basket that he's carried with him to the doctor's appointment in a corner so the basket doesn't hear him, even though we later revealed the basket has telepathic powers to hear everything he thinks.
Yes.
But if you put it in a corner and whisper, you're
Yes.
fine. That's the way to avoid that.
Oh, and I forgot at the beginning when he first showed up, she thought that he was like the repairman because
For the
repairmen
typewriter.
always carry their tools
In a
these
in a
huge
picnic
baskets.
basket. Yeah, for the typewriter repairman.
I like how it's funny that he sets up a date with this girl and then immediately goes to the movies by himself.
Yeah. Immediate. Well, technically, Chad, he is not by himself.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
just him, just alone, just by myself.
So, and he falls asleep, and a thief like takes the basket and runs off with it. Heist of the century, Keith.
Yeah. Oh, a picnic basket, yo.
But he gets away with the basket, and I think he takes it to the bathroom or something. I think that might be where it is. And we still don't see it, but whatever's in this basket ends up fucking this thief up. Like, you know, killing him or what have you.
I think it
Uh,
scares him away. I think he runs, right?
oh yeah, maybe he hurts his arm or something. He does wound him
Yeah.
because I think he runs away like he's holding his arm or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, and then it was like you're saying, the pervert doctor calls. They're all bad. Maybe the worst actress in the entire movie. She was terrible, and
It's it's rough.
she's another doctor, and you know, I don't know. I'm sure you noticed this, but like, there's several times in this movie where these shots just linger for no reason,
Yeah.
way too long.
But it's also like this is one of those moments where I feel like they wrote an entire backstory for this doctor that we don't get on camera, and I kind of want to see it because
Yes,
when she cuts to him, it's like she's at her house eating, and there's a dude across from her, and he's like, "Oh, I probably shouldn't drink anymore." And she's like, "No, drink, you slut," or something
Yeah,
weird that she says that's so uncomfortable that makes me feel this guy is locked beneath Red Hook with like a chain around his leg or something. You know what I mean?
it definitely seemed like there was a lot more to her story.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess maybe like after they started filming, they're like, oh wait, she's terrible, so we can't do any, we have to do the bare minimum with her.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
Like, it's really rough. So meanwhile, our main guy, he now goes back to the pervert doctor's place and dumps out. He dumps his brother out, and Bilal's like chilling, going through the doctor's office, and the doctor's office is like, here's something.
Do we see Belial yet, or we just see Belial
We
vision?
we do see Belial at some point, like not at the beginning. At the beginning, we're just seeing like you said, like what Belial can see
Yeah.
and all that, and maybe his hand reaching up to open the door or something like that.
Yeah.
But when he attacks the doctor, we do see him.
And so Belial looks like somebody had a Jabba the Hutt action figure and melted it. Like, and so it just became misshapen like a weird mountain range. That's what Belial looks like.
And so Belial kills the doctor. What Homeboy's just waiting in the alley, so he's not doing any dirty work
No, hands
whatsoever.
off. He's a
He's letting his
facilitator.
brother do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like Belial again climbs down the, the side of the wall, Spider-Man style, holding like the doctor's case files, address book, what have you.
He's a very handy meatwad character, is what he is.
Exactly. And so now he looks at the address book, and now he's got the address of the third doctor now. So okay, now we know what's going on. It seems like he's trying to get revenge on the doctors that did them wrong in the past or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then for no reason, he just starts like I don't know if it's the next day he's going to his date. He's just running down the street. Like, is there action shot?
Well, that's later. That's Are you talking about when he's running and you see his dick? Oh, then I don't know. I don't remember him running other than seeing his dick.
Because it was for no reason. He's just running down the street for no reason. Because he's going on the date with a girl. Like, I guess maybe he's late
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
but again, it didn't really show us why he'd be late. But so he goes on the date, but he doesn't take the basket with him.
But he tells the basket that he's going to check out the doctor's office or something like that.
Yes, he's lying to Belial.
Yeah.
And on this date, oh my goodness, they are sucking face so hardcore, it like made me uncomfortable.
With the dumbest fucking dialogue I've ever heard in my life, where he was like, I didn't really want to see the city. And she's like, city see me neither. I want you. And I'm like, I just look at this movie. I'm like, this is MoMA? This is art? Like, what the fuck am I, chopped liver now? Like,
Yes. So as they're making out, though, it's what you said earlier. Belial is in the room and he's freaking out. He can clearly sense what's going on. And freaking out is like not even hardcore enough for what's going on.
yeah. And before Partridge Brother boy left and left Belial there, he got a TV out of an alleyway or something like that and put it down for Belial to watch. And Belial's like, hey, it's not even in color. And then flips it. And like, Belial just starts fucking wrecking house.
Yeah, he's raging. He
Yeah.
is going crazy, just trashing the place. And this is, again, it's not a good movie, but this is pretty bad stop motion as well. Like, legitimately terrible, terrible stop motion.
I wonder if it would have been okay at the time period. Like, but we just watched Poltergeist, and Poltergeist had some pretty decent special effects.
Yeah, and like, again, I know it's not the greatest, but like Clash of the Titans, Jason the Argonauts,
Amazing. But also, I think the budget is like
obviously,
obviously, and this
nothing.
Nothing. This they had those hamburgers Belial ate. That was the budget. You know what I mean?
I just, I get it. I just don't know then that they should have showed him as much as they should have then
They showed him a
because,
lot.
yeah, because it's a lot. And so, because he's going crazy, like Dennis Franz and everyone else is like, they're running up to the room, which happens conservatively 50 times in this film.
Which is
Dennis
the
Franz throws that thing up to
yeah.
run out so many times. It's
So many,
ridiculous.
which is the most unbelievable part of this movie because you cannot tell me a prostitute hasn't been murdered in this hotel before. Like looking at this hotel, there's a murder happening every 2 weeks. I know you hear screams louder than this all the
Yes,
time.
all the time. Every couple hours, you hear screams like
Yeah,
this. Every time.
absolutely.
But again, everyone, Dennis Franz, everyone comes out of their room. Everyone runs up there and they go into the room and they see that it's trash, but they don't see anyone there
Yeah,
because Belial is like hiding back in the basket.
yeah, yeah,
And so they leave, but now the neighbor, the Snoop neighbor, takes this as his opportunity because now he was a part of this group. He knows no one's there.
yeah,
So he figures he can sneak in and steal the money that the kid had earlier or whatever.
yeah,
So he sneaks in, but of course Belial's in there, and Belial just attacks him and kills him.
yeah,
And again, just so loud craziness or whatever, and they call the cops because dude's dead in the room.
Is your basket moving?
I don't think so. Shouldn't be. I'm the only one here, Keith. It's just me.
It
I'm the only
totally
one.
just moved.
I don't think so.
Is your daughter locked in that basket right now?
No, I don't think so, dude. So it's funny about this. So the cops show up because the dude's dead, right?
Yeah.
And the main guy, he comes back with his girl from the date. And literally in front of everyone, he tells the girl, get out of here, beat it, or he'll kill you too.
And pushes her hard
Yeah.
in the middle of this like crowd surfing line that's going into this small ass hotel.
Everyone that we've seen so far
Everyone.
is in this group that
It's
hears him say this.
it's literally like 8.5, like where it's all the characters we've met up to this point forming a line.
Exactly. And so he tells that. He goes up to his room. The cop checks the basket. Nothing, is in the basket. But, the cop is like, hey, where were you? Can somebody, prove it? And the Dennis Franz guy's right there. He should have said, like,
Yeah.
well, he clearly just said somebody's going to kill this girl.
Yeah.
Like, none of that happens. Everyone leaves, and the dude's he's looking for Blau because he's not in the basket. The window was open. He doesn't know where it is, but he's actually hiding in the toilet for an idea of his size. That's how,
Yeah.
how small he is or whatever. And they start talking as he gets out of the basket. And this is the funniest fucking thing because Belial is posted up on this toilet. It's like a total vibe. He's just sitting there chilling, like, so tell me about your date, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it looks.
But it's also he's kind of pissy about it. So he's like, so where were you?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you went to the doctor. Is that not what we're doing? Like,
Yeah, that was so funny. I laughed so hard. Just that shot.
I love
just
the fact
chilled on the toilet.
they even do an over the shoulder shot of Belial who doesn't have shoulders. So it's just like this pussy postule that's barely in frame over like it's yeah.
I just can't stress how much it's amazing.
MOMA.
Exactly. So then so after this, he actually goes out with the hooker. Or no, he just goes to a bar to get a drink and he meets the hooker. He sees the hooker there.
And he brings the basket with Belial.
Yes, the basket's with him. And, they start talking and she's kind of like, take him under his wing. And I want to tell you, this dude gives a monologue that Daniel Day-Lewis would be proud of.
Daniel Day-Lewis wish he had this skill to say he looks like a squished octopus. Like he wishes.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
It's
And he
my
starts
Siamese
telling him.
twin, but you don't even look Asian.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's terrible. Yes, it's terrible. And yeah, he says it's his brother, and like she just thinks it's the funniest thing in the world or whatever. But again, they're drinking. I don't know. They seem to have had a lot.
Yeah.
So then we get a flashback, and it's the dad, Belial, and the main character's dad. I guess they've been born, and the dad is freaking out because
Mom
of the
died during childbirth.
yep, and he's freaking out because of the way that the conjoined twins looked. It looks terrible, and the dad's going crazy, and then it like fades back, and it's the next day, and it is the wildest thing to have a flashback. The way that it was cut, you didn't even realize you're still in the flashback.
Yeah.
It was one of the wildest flashbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's the next, now it's not the next day though. It's just like a few years later. And we're just going through this kid's whole life. Like it's the craziest flashback. And so then we actually get to see them as like a young dude with Belial attached to him, looking quad, I guess, but to the side instead of in the front. And we're still in the flashback. And now we meet the three doctors, the two that have been killed, terrible, lady doctor, and they are going to remove them from each other. They're going to separate them
against his will. The dad has orchestrated this.
Yeah. The brothers don't want it.
It's a surprise surgery in the middle of the night. And
yes.
Yeah.
And they remove Belial, and then they throw him away in the trash.
At the
literally
house.
In a trash bag.
Not they don't even take the surgery. They don't go to a doctor's office. They don't go to a hospital. They're just like, oh, are you carrying the potatoes out? Will you put this in there for me too?
Yes.
And they just drop it outside.
Yes. And the funniest thing about this to me is that like the main character, his name is Dwayne, I believe.
Yeah.
But somebody named the brother Belial. Like,
yeah.
What? Who did that? Why did that happen?
But the other thing is he doesn't call. There is one great part of this movie that I wish was explored a little bit more. When he's drunk and he's giving that speech, he's talking about his brother, and he says Dwayne doesn't like this or something like that, right? But it's like at first I'm wondering, does he call his brother the same name as him because he doesn't see the distinction between the two? Or is Belial speaking through him because we know that he has this, innate ability?
Oh, okay.
And so like it's one of those, and both of those are super fucking interesting. Your basket is fucking moving. Your basket is fucking
Dude, you've watched too much of this movie. It's not moving.
I swear to God. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, but like that's the most interesting part, and the basket agrees with me. That's the most interesting part.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So we're still in the flashback, and now the dad is like walking down to the basement or something, and he gets killed. Because Dwayne finds Belial in the trash.
Yeah,
that's what happened. So Dwayne finds Belial in the trash, gets him out of the trash. Presumably, Belial kills the dad.
He builds like a shop project downstairs and goes jigsaw for a second, and then they kill the dad.
And now the aunt is going to raise both of them. Like she's fine with it. It's like Rosemary's Baby, I guess. She's
great. Yeah, the aunt
she's
was
totally
awesome.
cool. She's gonna raise them, and then we see her die. This is how long the flashback is. It is the longest flashback from his birth until this 21-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's a 21-year long flashback is how long it is. Yeah.
Life's, deaths, everything.
Yeah.
So now we're finally, caught up to present day. And the hooker takes him home, and she puts him in his bed. There's no sexual thing going on. She just puts him in the bed. And then she goes back to her room. And when she gets in her bed, Belial is in her bed. Like, he's posted up in there too. Like,
this guy just likes to chill. Like that's what he's there for.
He does. And so she sees him and she just screams and starts going crazy. And again, same deal. Everyone that we've seen so far, Dennis Franz throwing the thing open, running up the stairs. Like everyone goes into her room, but Bilal's not there. Like, you
Yeah.
know, he has got away again. And he actually gets back in the basket this time. I don't know how, like, I guess I guess he's traveling outside, through the windows that are open. Is that what you think he's doing? Because
Yeah, because of where he goes momentarily. Yeah.
he's back in the basket, and then we see more about the
You're seeing the fucking basket move. I know you're making the basket move. I don't know how, but I'm seeing.
not making the basket move. So then we see like the veterinarian. She's a veterinarian actually. She's not just like a doctor. She's a
Yeah.
veterinarian. But I'm glad that it explained that it was an animal doctor,
Yeah.
because if you didn't know what a veterinarian was,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe in 1982 if that wasn't a term that
Common
people used.
phrase. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like animal doctor. Got it. So they go to, you know, the animal doctor. It's a terrible actress. And Belial attacks her. And I feel like he rips her face off or something. He like kills her.
I think he shoves like scissors or something
Oh, he
into her.
definitely does that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like she calls in somebody and she looks like Pinhead with shit just poking out.
Yeah. It was like he shoved her face down on top of like the table with all the tools on it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and now we're back at like, the hotel, and fake wig shows up um at his place for some more kissing. They start kissing, but Blyle's there this time. So he just pops up and freaks out.
Yeah.
And Dwayne just like grabs her and throws her out of the room.
Well, literally, he touches her breasts, I think, in the weirdest way possible, as if he's Matt Murdock trying to solve a crime or something. And then when Blazer is freaking out, he takes the nasty cover that he wiped his hamburger juices on,
Yep.
covers her head, throws her out into a wall, and slams the door, which is just one way to get rid of a chick, I guess. Just yeah,
It seems like it worked, right? Because
yeah,
she did eventually just leave.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah.
Then he just goes to bed. I mean, he's like perfect.
Well, everybody comes out again to check and hear what the
Yes.
screaming is, but yeah,
Everybody's got to check on this screaming. So he goes to bed and he dreams. It's kind of like what you were talking about before. He's dreaming, but he's dreaming like he is Belial. And so,
that fucking basket is moving. You piece of shit. Like,
and so he's dreaming like he's Belial. But this is what you were talking about earlier, where he's running down the street, butt ass naked,
yeah,
full penis, everything,
everything.
running down the street in New York.
Yeah,
And it's actually Blah, but Blah's going to the wig girl's house or wherever she lives. He goes there, and this is a very, very uncomfortable scene. It is, I think it's very unnecessary for the type of movie that it is.
you mean a bad movie? This is
I just mean, like,
exactly.
did we have to go this far to show some of the stuff that we saw?
Yeah,
Like, if Belial is there and like, we see like, him rubbing her boob or whatever. And then
basket
clearly
move.
Belial like rapes her.
Clearly, yeah.
And
Well, but he does.
ever how he can.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like we've Belial doesn't leave a lot to the imagination, so we know his anatomy pretty well.
Yeah.
And so he can't technically. But yeah, and it almost like to me, it's like I don't know. There's sort of like the sentiment of he's trying to do what his brother did, but then takes it too far and is angry and gets revenge
Right.
on her and all this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. And Dwayne wakes up and he knows what's going on, and he rushes to her house. And when he comes in, she's dead. But the shot, it's terrible. The shot with all the blood. I mean, it
Yeah.
just is. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And he grabs Belial and takes him away, and they go back to, and he's furious with him, obviously. And they go back to uh, his room at
Mhm.
that hotel, and she's dead. And I guess they're arguing or something because again, everyone comes back into the apartment. Like, is that what's happening?
Yeah, he's screaming at Belial about why couldn't you let me have her?
Yeah.
I did what you wanted.
So yeah, they're screaming, or Dwayne's screaming at Belial, and so everyone comes in, and they all see Belial. Um, and Belial grabs Dwayne by the dick. It's the funniest thing.
Lifts him 25 feet into the air. Belial is the strongest motherfucker on the planet. Look,
Yes, he literally got him by the dick. It's hilarious. And then they both fly out the window in the struggle.
your
Um,
basket is fucking moving, Chad.
Keith, I know you're just trying to scare me, but it's not going to work, buddy.
I'm just concerned that Maggie's in the basket. That's my.
So, and they struggle and they fall out the window, and now they're hanging on the hotel sign, and then they fall to their death,
Yeah.
and that's the end of the movie.
Although I will say, I wish I had the poster of them hanging off the sign. Belial, fucking Captain America, Winter
Yes,
Soldiering.
yes,
Like Belial, who looks like Krang from the Ninja Turtles, and I
it's
just
definitely
realized
Krang. It's better. The Jabba thing was fine, but it's Krang. You're
it's
right,
Krang.
guys. He looks
Yeah,
like Krang.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Uh, and like I said, they fall to their death, and that's the end. However, spoiler alert: I haven't seen part two, but I watched the trailer. They both survive, Keith.
Well, I know there are three, at least three movies, and the
Right.
reason I know there's a third one is because Rob Pralgo was cast in the third movie of Basket Case. It was originally going to shoot in Atlanta, Georgia. Then they moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, and he got fired because they couldn't bring him there. So Rob Pralgo was hired and
Oh,
fired for Basket Case 3. And he was
I
going
am
to
so
play a
disappointed.
character named Platehead. So we have to watch 2 and 3 now, clearly.
I have to.
Have to. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, could you imagine if Rob was in Basket Case 3? Be
It'd be
incredible.
the best thing his career has ever seen, really.
I don't know if part three has that art disclaimer in front of it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So,
touche, touche, yeah.
yep.
Um, yeah. So what did you think about Basket Case?
Uh, so it's a terrible movie, but I
Yeah,
loved it because it was so funny, but it was unintentionally funny.
unintentionally funny. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, and I wonder. Here's the thing: when you're making a movie like this, are you aware? Oh wait, I'm weird as fuck. Like, is that a thought that ever comes to your head, or are you like intentionally trying to make it? Because to me, it has every single hallmark of a cult classic. Like your casting is just strange and fun and not on the mark, but somehow has such character to it. It elevates the entire piece. Your story is fucking batshit bonkers, makes no sense.
Right.
Your special effects are trippy and weird and not that great, but somehow it makes a cohesive, odd viewing experience, you know?
Yeah. So I struggle with the rating because, again, it's not a good movie,
No.
but I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, I gave it a 2.5 on Letterbox. Like, that could be too high, but again, I really had a lot of fun watching this movie. I mean, I laughed a lot. Like, I had a lot of fun with it.
I think I gave it a 1. Uh
And
because
and you're not wrong.
no, I don't think I am. I don't think anyone I think even Belial would have been like
Exactly. So, one of the things that we do is we look at the pop Funkos
Yeah,
and we make the pop of the movie.
yeah.
So, what would be your pop Funko of this?
I mean, it's Belial in the basket. The basket's open, and he's just doing that sort of thing.
Yep. I think I'd have the same thing, but I would have Dwayne like holding him. like,
Oh
Dwayne
yeah, that's
holding the
great.
basket, but the basket's open a little bit, and Belial, definitely
Yeah.
that's what I would do.
They have some of those like giant Funko Pops, and so I would want to do that where it's actual Belial size. You know what I mean?
That
Uh,
is giant.
yeah. So and then we also do remakes of the movie. So, how would you remake this classic modern art piece basket case?
I would definitely do the comedy horror route and like really lean into the comedy aspect of it. I
Hmm.
mean, sure, you can make it a little bit scary, but it's going to be really funny, is the way I would do it. But I would cast Dwayne would be Jack Quaid,
Oh, great.
and Bilal, of course, Andy Serkis. I don't really know who else,
Oh, great.
you
Yeah.
could cast for that. But and then the other one I cast was the wig girl, and that would be Io Debris. So she's going to bring
Brilliant.
the funny.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a great cast that is.
Yeah. And like I said, it's just a comedy, again, a horror comedy, emphasis on the comedy.
Yeah, I think I would do a straight remake again, but I would sort of lean into the cultish nature of it and sort of like it's clear wig girl's gonna wear a wig again, and the wig's gonna keep changing scene for scene. I'll probably even have a thing with like veterinarian and then in quotations animal doctor beneath it, and then somebody will be like, "Oh, I'm a veterinarian," and someone would probably say, "Well, thank you for your service," or something like that.
Yeah.
Sort of quote. Elijah Wood is gonna play Dwayne, but he's still
Nice.
going to be 20 years old. Like I'm going to make sure to say that and stuff.
Sure.
And gray in his hair and all that shit. He's also going to play Belial, because I
Okay.
think that's what Dwayne does in this one. The guy, the hotel keep is going to be Stavros, the comedian, because I think it already looks like him. I'm gonna have Sigourney Weaver as the last doctor, the vet, because it already looks like her. And then I'm gonna have
She
Greta
sounded like her too. Like,
sounded
it
like
was
her definitely,
amazing.
and I'm gonna have Greta Gerwig as Wig Girl.
Okay.
And so
I
just we
like
have
it.
like a lot of fun, all practical effects, no
Oh,
digital,
yeah, 100% practical.
just having fun with it and making a weird, sleazy comedy horror movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would even have practical effects and it be stop motion and be bad stop motion.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, yeah,
I'd polish it a little bit more than what they have, but Jesus Christ.
it's
Fucking
terrible.
all right, so
Like,
now that we got through talking about basket case, what the fuck is in the basket? Did something actually move?
Keith, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on to the next film.
I swear to God. So let's do that. So we're in 1982. What is the next film we're going to be watching?
So we're going from one classic to another, from Basket Case to John Carpenter's The Thing.
Fantastic. I just watched the thing for the first time ever. So
What?
yeah, so I'm excited to watch it again because I had a great time. Um, yeah, so I'm pumped about it.
That's crazy. It's the first time.
Yeah. Um, fuck yeah, I can't wait. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun to
Yeah,
talk about
it'd
that.
be super cool.
Very similar special effects qualities. In
I think so. Yeah.
those two films. I wonder if they had the same team. Uh, but until we see the thing from outer space, Chad, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter X, NQC podcast,
Uh huh.
and that's where they can find me. How about you, Keith?
You can find me in the not quite darkness.
Oh, I gotta go. Shit.
Michael K.